Title: Wings of the Night. The small town of Eldridge was nestled between thick forests and the rolling hills of West Virginia. It was a place where autumn leaves turned shades of fiery red, and the scent of wood smoke filled the air as children carved pumpkins on crisp evenings. But recently, rumors began to spread through the high school halls like weeds through cracks in concrete. "Did you hear about the Mothman sightings?" Josh whispered to his friends during lunch, his voice barely above the din of chatter. "The moth guy from Point Pleasant? That's just a legend," Sarah scoffed, though a shiver ran down her spine. She had always been fascinated, and terrified, by urban legends, especially those that lingered like shadows in the corners of her mind. "It's not just a legend anymore. People have been seeing it around here," Josh insisted, eyes wide with excitement, or perhaps fear. "Some claim it's been whispering their names at night." "Yeah, right," went the collective murmur of the group, skeptical yet captivated. They were used to the usual high school gossip, crushes, exam stress, and parties, yet the chilling tales of Mothman felt different. As Halloween approached, Sarah and her friends decided to conduct their own investigation. Equipped with flashlights, they planned to explore the old mill on the outskirts of town, the very place where the Mothman had allegedly been spotted. Legend said that the creature emerged from the abandoned building on nights painted with darkness, drawn to those who dared to seek it. The night fell thick like velvet, the clouds blocking the moonlight as they arrived at the mill, its silhouette stark against the gloomy sky. As they stepped inside, the air felt cooler, almost electric, as if the very atmosphere was charged with a looming presence. Weak beams of their flashlights danced against brick walls smeared with grime and age, and dust motes fluttered in the hazy light. "Is that a sound?" whispered Mia, her voice trembling slightly. "Just the wind," Josh replied, though he too felt uneasy. Suddenly, a fluttering noise filled the air, like the rustling of hundreds of wings. The friends froze, their hearts thumping in their chests. Just as fear threatened to overwhelm them, the sound faded, leaving only silence. "Okay, let's take a look outside," Sarah suggested, trying to project confidence. As they stepped outside, the moon peeked from behind the clouds, illuminating the area for a brief moment. And there it was, a steel-gray figure perched atop a rusty beam of the old mill, its massive wings folded close to its body. Its eyes glowed with an unearthly sheen, bright and piercing in the moonlight. "Is that?" Mia gasped, clutching Sarah's arm. "It's Mothman," Josh whispered, awe-struck and terrified. They watched in frozen disbelief as the creature stared at them with an intensity that sliced through the night like a blade. It seemed to be considering them, evaluating their fear. Then, without any warning, it spread its wings, a span wider than any of them could have imagined. The sound was akin to thunder, reverberating in their chests. As it took flight, a gust of wind rushed past them, and they stumbled backward, instinctively trying to shield themselves. In that moment, a long shadow stretched across the ground, and a feeling of dread wrapped around Sarah like a vice. "Run!" she yelled, her feet moving before her brain had time to catch up. The others followed, sprinting towards the safety of the trees. They ran, hearts racing, adrenaline surging through their veins. Behind them, they could hear low, haunting whispers, the Mothman, as if calling their names, trailing after them. "Sarah!" came a chilling hiss, wrapping around her like an icy embrace. As they burst through the tree line into the safety of the streetlights, they didn't stop until they reached Mia's house, panting and breathless. "What the hell was that?" Josh exclaimed, hair wild and eyes wide. "I don't know," Sarah said, still reeling. "But we shouldn't go back. Ever." As the weeks rolled by, there was a palpable change in the town. People acted differently, seeing glimpses of shadows and hearing distant whispers in the dark. The sightings didn't stop, they only grew, like a wildfire consuming dry grass. Then came the news, a bridge collapse, a disaster eerily reminiscent of the old legends surrounding Mothman's appearances. And every victim's family mentioned strange dreams or chilling encounters before that fateful night. Sarah and her friends learned their lesson. Some legends aren't just stories. Some dark entities are forever woven into the fabric of the night, leaving a chilling mark on those who dare to seek the unknown. And in Eldridge, with every fluttering of wings that echoed through the trees, the lesson became clear. The Mothman was never just a man, he was a harbinger of fear, a reminder to never tread blindly into the darkness, lest you find out what lurks within.